This is Math Let Review Part 6, focusing on operations on polynomials. Our first given is x squared minus 3x plus 7 minus the polynomial 4x cubed minus 6x squared minus 5x plus 4. So it would help us if we are going to solve vertically. But first, we have to take out the parentheses. So that's x squared minus 3x plus 7 and minus 4x cubed. And since this is minus, when we take out the parentheses, then all the operation will change to its opposite. So the operation inside or after the parentheses. So that gives us plus 6x squared plus 5x and minus 4. So bring down minus 4x cubed. So there is an invisible one here because we cannot see any numerical coefficient. So that will make us 7x squared. And here, negative 3 and 5, that gives us plus 2x. And then 7 and 4, that gives us plus 3. So you have to take note that we are going to follow the sign of the bigger number or the bigger expression or the bigger term. So here 7 and 4, we follow the plus sign of 7 because 7 is greater than 4. Here we follow the plus sign or the positive sign of 5 because 5 is greater than 3. Here is just basically adding. So the difference of x squared minus 3x plus 7 and 4x cubed minus 6x squared minus 5x plus 4 is negative 4x cubed plus 7x squared plus 2x plus 3. So we have solved our first operation. Now we move to our next. So here we have performed the indicated operation 3x minus 5 times 2x minus 3. So it will help us if uh, we are going to distribute. This is multiplying binomials. Binomial times a binomial. So we follow the famous method, which is the FOIL method, which represents the first, meaning we multiply first term by first term. So 3x times 2x is 6x squared. And then the outer, so outer terms, the 3x and the 3. So that gives us 9. 3x times 3 is 9x squared. But 3 is negative. So positive times negative is negative. And we solve the inside. 5 times 2, that gives us 10. And we have x. By the way, 3x times 3, there is no denominator exponent there, so that's only 9x. And we continue, we multiply the last term of the first binomial and the last term of the second binomial. So we have negative 5 times negative 3, that gives us 9, or positive 9. So we have to look at the inner and the outer products in it. They are like terms because they have the same numerical literal coefficient, which is x. So we just combine negative 9 and 10, and that gives us positive 1, or simply x. So it will now give us the product of 6x squared plus x plus 9. And we have solved our second operation, which is multiplication. Moving on to our third number. So this time we have a binomial times a trinomial. So all we need to do is simply distribute or multiply the monomial to each term in the trinomial. So that will give us negative 4 times negative 3. That gives us a positive 12, and x here. So when we are multiplying exponents or expressions with the same base but different exponent, all we need to do is simply add the exponent. So next is negative 4x times negative 4x. So that gives us a positive 16x cubed. And negative 4 times 2, that gives us a positive 8. No, that's not a positive. A negative times a positive is a negative 8. And then x squared. We copy the term, the literal coefficient of uh, the one outside, because 2 doesn't have any literal coefficient. So our answer now is 12x to the fifth plus 16x cubed minus 8x squared. Question: is it possible to combine x to the fifth, x cubed, and x squared? The answer is no. We can only combine terms with the same base and the same exponent, meaning we can add and subtract terms with the same base and the same exponents. We can multiply and we can divide them even if they have different exponents, but we can never add nor subtract terms with different bases and or different exponents. So we have to take note of that. So we moved on to our next number. Okay, so this time we have a binomial times a trinomial. Binomial meaning we have two terms. Trinomial meaning we have three terms. So we just have to distribute the same process as the previous numbers. We just have to multiply each of the terms. So we have now 3 times 2 is 6, m times m squared is m cubed, and 3m times negative 4m is negative 12m squared. By the way, that is not m squared, because that's m and m squared, so that's m cubed. So the second was is m squared. 3m times negative 5 is negative 15m. Okay, and now we multiply the second term in the binomial to each of the term in the trinomial. Negative 2 times 2m is negative 4m squared. So we just have to align it with the term or with our product with the same base and the same exponent. So they are like terms, so we can combine them later. Next, negative 2 times negative 4. So negative times negative is positive. And 2 times 4 is 8. And we don't have any other terms there. And we just have to copy m. So we write it below 15m because they have the term literal coefficient. And we have negative 2 times 5. So negative times negative is positive. And 2 times 5 is 10. And we can combine them. So we bring down 6m cubed. And then bring down, we'll have the same uh, sign. So all we need to do is copy the sign and add the two numbers. 12 times 4 is 16. Copy the literal coefficient. And then next is they have different signs. So all we need to do is subtract 15 minus 8 is 7. Copy the literal coefficient m and copy the sign of the bigger numbers. So 15 and 8, 15 is bigger, 15 has a minus sign before it. So that will become minus 7m, and then we bring down 10 because it doesn't have any other term that we can add, or that's the only term. It has no other like terms. So our final answer will be 6m cubed minus 16m squared minus 7m plus 10, and that is the product of our given. Yay! So we move to our next number. Okay, so now here we have choices. So we if we have choices, it's easier to just simply do the elimination method. So we start with this is addition. So um, we will have to add those with like terms. So we look at the highest exponent. So 4x cubed has the highest exponent. So it doesn't have any other x cubed in the given. So we can eliminate a because the a here, the x in 4 is the exponent is 5, so eliminate. Next is we have to continue. So x cubed, now we have 2x squared and 6x squared. So we can combine the two, but they have different signs. So we need to subtract 2, and negative 6x is negative 4. So negative 4x squared. So without solving, we know already that D is the answer. So that is one of the technique in solving. Um, Especially if you're taking exams in any kind of exam. So we don't need to continue solving to determine which one is the answer. Okay, so that will be 4x squared minus 4x minus 8x plus 11. But we can always verify if you would like. So we verified the second one would be uh, negative 3 and 8, negative 3 and negative 5, so that's negative 8x, and 7 and 4 is 11. So our answer is still correct. Yay! So we try to apply this in the next number. So next number is binomial times a binomial. Let's try to apply this number. We are sure, let's start first. 4x times 3x is 12x squared. So all numbers has a 12x squared, so we cannot eliminate yet. Next is um, negative 7 and 2, that's negative 14. Negative 14, so we can eliminate C, and we can also eliminate the letter B because it doesn't have any 14 there. So our option will be A and D. Without solving, we can actually determine which one is the correct answer. That's letter A. Why? Because a binomial with different terms, it will always yield to a trinomial. So if you have a 4x minus 7, 3x plus 2, that's assuming that the numerical coefficients there, the literal coefficients and our mean are the same. So it will give us letter A, and D is eliminated because it has only two terms in the answer. So to check, uh, if it's really for negative 13x, so all we need to do is just multiply the outer term, so 4x and 2x, that gives us 8x, and the inner term, which is negative 7 and 3, and that gives us negative 21x. So 8x minus 21x, that's actually negative 13x. And we are right. A is the correct answer. Okay. So we apply the elimination method here in solving for this item. So this is multiplying a monomial by a binomial. So we are sure that it will give us binomials. So all the choices have binomials. Next is we multiply 4 by 6. And that's sure it will give us a 24. So we can eliminate C and also B. Now we look at the literal coefficient. X squared times x to the third. So we said that we are going to add the exponent. 2 plus 3 is 6. No, 2 plus 3 is 5, not 6. This one gives us a 6. So we are sure that letter D is the answer. As simple as that. You don't need to continue solving because it's there already, elimination. But for the sake of the discussion, we will be solving it, okay? So y times y squared is y cubed, and this is correct. And 4 times 5 is negative 20. X squared times x is x cubed, and y times y to the fifth is y to the sixth. So we are sure that it's letter D, and our answer is correct. We moved on. Okay, so this time, this is a square of a binomial. So it's square because we square it, and a binomial because the one inside the parenthesis has two terms and it has a binomial. So when you have a square of a binomial, it will always give us three terms in the product. So we can eliminate A and B because it has It has only two terms. Next is um, we look at C and D. So for C and D, you have exactly the same first term and last term. So the only difference there is the middle term. So all we need to do is just um, take out uh, for those who can visualize, that would be 5x times 4w. For those who likes visualization, so I'll be writing it, but I'll be also showing you a technique on how to solve it directly without doing this process. So to get the middle term, that will be finding the product of the outside. That's 20, negative 20x, and the product of the inside, that is also negative 20x, and we have 2 negative 20x. Therefore, our answer is letter C because it gives us a middle term of negative 40x. Another way of doing that one is to multiply the first and the second term. That gives us, sorry, we missed the w here. There's w. W should come first. Okay, so 5x times negative 4w, that is negative 20 wx. And we multiply it by 2. So multiply by 2, and then it gives us negative 40. This is negative 20x. So it gives us negative 40wx. So it's letter C. Next. Okay, this one is exciting. So for us to simplify this one, we will have to put our 2x squared, create 4 different fractions out of the given by putting 2x squared as our common denominator, or our denominator. So 14x squared, no, 14x cubed. Uh, the reason why I'm putting it separately because sometimes we get confused that if we deleted, if we canceled something, we assume that it's also canceled already in the other terms. So we have to be very careful with that. So that's why we have to separate it. Plus 8x over 2x squared and minus 12 over 2x squared. Okay, so now we are through separating all the 4 fractions. So we can now simplify each. 14 divided by 2 is 7. And x cubed divided by x squared, that's x squared. Again, we have to be very careful when solving x squared. So that will be x minus 6 divided by 2 is 3. And x squared divided by x squared, that's already 1. Plus 8 divided by 2 is 4. But this time, our exponent in the denominator is bigger. So when we simplify, then that will be subtracting 2 by 1. That's 1. But we put the variable where where it has the bigger exponent. So that would be placed down. Minus 12 divided by 2 is 6. But the numerator doesn't have a variable, so we just copy the exponent. Okay. Sometimes it will also ask you not to have a fractional form, but for this case, if it states there with to give an answer without fractions, then we can rewrite it as 7x minus 3 plus 4x. This time we use a negative exponent, negative 1. There is an invisible 1 there, minus 6x raised to the power of negative 2. So you have to read carefully how it would be answered, or you have to look at the choices as to which one is really correct. Okay, because this item did not give choices. Next number. Okay, this one is bit exciting because you have a binomial in the denominator. We cannot follow the process of the previous number because the previous number has a monomial denominator. But here we have a binomial denominator. So first is we will have to factor our numerator. I'm more comfortable factoring by grouping. Okay, x squared plus 5x minus 6. So how do you think we are going to factor this one so that we will have an x minus 3 factor on top? So, okay. So we'll do trial and error first. So I will be grouping it this way. If I group it that way, then I will have to factor x squared out. So I will have x minus 4. But I cannot in any way create or give an x minus 3 um, answer. So we'll have to do a long division. So I will not erase that one so that you will see. So I'll just do a long division, use the long division method, just like uh, how you are doing it and when you solve whole numbers. So we have x cubed minus 4x squared plus 5x minus 6. So you have to extend the division bar, and we have x minus 3 out. So we divide x cubed by the x. So x cubed divided by x is x squared. So that's x squared. X squared times x is x cubed. X squared minus 3 is times negative 3 is negative 3x squared. And we have to subtract. So this will become plus. So this will give us negative x squared and bring down 5x. So negative x squared divided by, so that will be negative x squared divided by x. That will give us a negative x. negative x times, so negative x times x is negative x squared, and negative x times negative 3, that is plus 4x. And then we subtract, the operation will change, so that will be x, and bring down 6. X divided by x is 1 plus 1. And we have now 1x minus 3. And we have a remainder of 2, negative, no, 3, negative 3, negative 3. Okay, so it means that our numerator is not factorable, but it will give us an answer of x squared. And they say not factorable because it will give us a remainder. So there is a remainder, 1 minus, it's a minus because this is negative 3, minus 3 over x minus 3. So we can also have a remainder. If you have a remainder for a whole number, we can also have a remainder for polynomials. Okay, so we move to our next number. Oh, this time it has choices, so it's easier to do. We will be doing our elimination. Okay, so 24 divided by 8 is 3. So all has a 3, but x cubed divided by x squared is x. So our letter D is eliminated. Okay. Next, so we are now having 3 choices now. 4/8. 4/8 is actually equal to 1/2. But we have x squared divided by x squared, so that will be eliminated. So we have 1/2. And this is letter A has the only term with 1/2. So we will also check the third term if it will really give us our answer. So 16 divided by 8 is 2, and x over x squared, that's over x. So this is correct. 2, 2/8 is 1/4, and then we bring down our x squared there. So A is the answer. So it's easier to have choices than just solving it without choices, because we can apply the elimination technique in answering. So next number, this is our last number, and it has there are choices. Okay, so we will be doing the long division method because we do not know if it will have a remainder or not, just like what we did with the other number earlier. Okay, so x squared minus 2x squared minus 5x plus 6, and we divide it by our denominator, which is x minus 3. So x squared, x cubed divided by x is x squared. X squared, x squared divided by x is x cubed. We also multiply x squared by negative 3. That gives us negative 3x squared. And then we have to divide. No, not divide, subtract. So that's already 0. And this one, it will change to its opposite. So they have opposite symbols already. So 3 minus 2 is 1. So we have x squared minus 5x. Okay, 5x. So x squared divided by x, that is plus x. X times x is x squared. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. And then subtract, change the operation to its opposite. So that gives us negative 2x. And bring down 6 plus 6. So negative 2x divided by x is minus 2. Let's try to see negative 2x. And we have a plus 6. So our remainder is 0. So our answer here is x squared plus x minus 2. That's letter B. Yay! We were able to finish solving polynomials. That's a combination of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division of polynomials. So I hope that you were able to get some techniques that you can use for your review. And may God bless you all as you take your exam. So don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell so that you'll be updated with the future videos that can help you for your review. Thank you so much and have a good day. Bye.